Hey everyone, it's Angel. Back in August 2016, I made a tutorial using Mirachrome powder and Sharpies, and it's one of my most viewed videos, and also it's one of my all-time fave manis I've ever done. I was honestly just happy. People seemed to agree with me that it was amazing. I wanted to recreate it for a while, but not wanting to do the exact same video, this time I went with Holo Powder and Sharpie highlighters. Before you X out of the video because you don't mess with gel polish, you can definitely do this technique over a regular silver holo polish. It just won't be as hollowy, it'll just be like a medium amount of holo. But first, can everyone just take a moment to say a prayer or make a sacrifice to the nail gods, because my ring nail is cracked right now. I don't know how long it's gonna last, and the reason why my nail looks kind of all gross and dirty because I didn't want to put too much pressure on it when I was removing my previous mani, so I just left this all gross. There's even hair stuck in it, but I didn't want to mess with it. I just wanted to make it through this tutorial. The nail is still holding on right now, by the way. Since I'm going to be using gel polish, I went with Peel Off Base Coat because I hate removing gel polish and this makes it super easy. And look at my poor pathetic cracked nail. Hang on, baby. For my base coat, I went with a black gel polish from Bundle Monster, and I will try to link this polish down below. I say try because I feel like they don't sell this as a single anymore and it's just in a set, but I will find what I can from Bundle Monster, but any black gel polish will do. I was a little sloppy, so I had to do some cleanup with 100% acetone, and with gel polish you have to make sure you do the cleanup before you cure it, otherwise you're just going to cure it onto your skin and then you'll be a mess. And then I cured for 60 seconds under my Melody Susie gel lamp. I love this thing. I feel like it gets abused and it's always covered in powder and glitter and all sorts of nail art things. And then I did a second layer of black gel polish and cured for 60 seconds. And it's always such a nice change going from regular polish to gel polish because there's no dry time. So once you cure this, you can just immediately move on to the next step. It's kind of a nice little bonus with gel. And then for my holo powder, I'm using Holo Hoop from Twinkle Tea. And I shouldn't even include this part, but I thought it was going to be really cool, and I was going to smear the holo powder on this black paper and it was going to be like a rainbow smearing across the screen, but this is a piece of matte paper, so it just looks like silver junk garbage. Here is what I thought was going to happen on the paper when I smeared a little bit of the powder onto the black cap of the gel polish. It looks like this beautiful, glorious rainbow. Not what I did. I thought it was going to be like this cool piece of cinematography and everyone was going to be so impressed with me and just immediately subscribe. But nope, I just failed. Back to the tutorial. So how I like to apply powders is first I like to take a makeup wedge, aka gradient sponge, and pick up a little bit of the powder, whatever it is, mirror powder, holo powder, duochrome powder, whatever. And then with very light pressure, you just swipe onto the nail and it will deposit the holo powder onto the surface of the gel polish. Now I should mention, you use one-step gel polish, so there is no tacky layer to remove, and that's what helps the different powders to stick to the surface of the gel. So you just rub and buff, again, very light pressure until the whole nail is covered in beautiful rainbows. And here it is on my middle nail again, because let's just watch it again. So this really is a quick part. It only takes, I don't know, less than 30 seconds per nail. Now you could just stop there and apply your gel polish and call it a day, but I find that to bring out the true luster of the different powders, using a two-step process works best. So using a silicone applicator tool thingy, I'll have it linked down below, you pick up a little bit more of the holo powder. And then very gently you buff the powder into the surface of the nail. Again, be careful because you can sort of bend your nail if you're, going completely ham on this thing. So what this does is the buffing motion really helps to deposit even more of the powder into any of the nail that's kind of lacking and maybe looks a little sparse, and it just truly brings out the luster and more holo fire. It's harder to see on camera, but in person you can tell that this definitely takes it up a notch. And then once you've buffed until you can't buff anymore, I like to take a fluffy eyeshadow brush and just kind of brush off the excess powder that's just laying on the surface of your nail and in your skin cuticle area. You don't want that loose powder on the surface of the nail because then when you apply the gel top coat, it's going to give it more of a sparkle coat and it's not going to be 100% smooth. So get as much of that loose powder off as you can. And then you apply your gel top coat and cure for 60 seconds. This one is from Bundle Monster. Oh my goodness, you see that hair I was dragging across my nail? Oh my god, thank goodness that didn't stick to the nail. And now we can move on to the Sharpie application part. Now, if you don't want to mess with gel polish, you can completely forget what I did all in the beginning of the video and apply a coat of silver holo polish. You want the most holo silver polish you can find. My favorite is Color Club Harp on it. I'll have it linked down below. But you want to make sure you apply a coat of super glossy top coat to the top of the holo polish and let it dry 100% because you want the smoothest surface possible. So this part is crazy easy. Anybody could really do this part if you know how to use a marker, which I'm sure you can figure that out. So what you want to do is dab the highlighter onto the surface of the nail, and as you can see, it's kind of juicy and liquidy, and that's why I decided to go with the liquid highlighter so that I would deposit the highlighter juice onto the surface of my nail. Oh my god, sometimes I say the weirdest things during these videos. So the highlighters weren't drying instantly, and so the liquid is just kind of sitting on the surface of my nail. And sorry it's going in and out of focus here. I just wanted to show you guys how the colors were kind of like bleeding together, and when you turn your nail you can get it to like drip and move a certain way. So I just continued dabbing the highlighters onto my nail and putting the colors where I wanted them to go. I tried to leave a little bit of the silver poking through, but I couldn't control the liquid completely, so it just kind of was going where it went. So kind of got to be a little strategic in your placement, and you can also use the marker to kind of move the liquid around a little bit. If you watch any of my other Sharpie videos, which I have a ton, I have an entire playlist which I will link down below, I use a regular Sharpie marker and those dry instantly and much more opaque. So they're not going to just move around like this, and to dilute those once you put the regular Sharpie on your nail, you use isopropyl alcohol. So I don't think using a regular Sharpie like this is going to work. It's going to look a little more opaque over that hollow base coat, and it's not going to pop through as much. So if you want to use Sharpies over a hollow, I would definitely recommend going with the highlighter type. Since I did put a good amount of the highlighter onto the nails, they were wet for a while. So I let them dry for, it was probably like 10 minutes before I decided it was a good idea to put the gel top coat on. And here is where I applied the gel top coat, and if you look closely towards the cuticle area of my nail where that darkest spot of Sharpie is, you can see how the polish and or the brush kind of smears that part a little bit because it was not 100% dry. So I could have technically let these dry for a little longer. And then I cured for 60 seconds. And then after you cure all the nails, you just wash your hands to get the excess holo powder off. And that is it. That completes the tutorial. And honestly, I was like so excited to do this because I loved my original Sharpie Mirror Chrome nails, and these came out so much better than I imagined. I just didn't think the holo powder was really going to shine through as strongly as it did. But look at it. These are like, they're so magical. I would have loved to have seen these in the sun, but I live in the Antarctic, aka Buffalo, New York, and it is November. We no longer have sun until probably like June, so I'm gonna have to wait until the summer and do these again so that I could view these in all their glory in the sun. And if you want, don't forget to check out my original video. I'll have it linked down below. It's actually pretty funny because I didn't even have a full-size gel lamp at the time. I was just using an LED flashlight to cure my gel polish. It's pretty funny. You can also follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at @twy_star. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.